module on irregular verbs, we're going to do some practice working with the chart. And we'll begin with the verb ver. So the angle that we want is IC. Now to look that up in the chart, we simply go to the angle of I and down to the verb to see. So we get the sound of veo. So veo means I see. How would you say I see it? Lo veo. I don't see it. No lo veo. To express over there, it would be por allí. How would you say I see it over there? Lo veo por allí. What about I see her? La veo. I see her over there. La veo por allí. To express with her friends, let's imagine that they're all females. So it would be con sus amigas. I see her over there with her friends. La veo por allí con sus amigas. Let's switch to another verb. For example, you do. So we can go to our chart, we locate the angle of you and down to the verb of to do or to make, and we get the sound of haces. So haces means you do or you make. How would you say you do it? Lo haces. You do it very well. Lo haces muy bien. What's the word for what? ¿Qué? Now how would you ask, what are you doing? ¿Qué haces? Let's suppose that we needed the sound for you see. Going down to our chart, we take the angle of you down to the verb ver, which is to see, and we get the sound of ves. So we have a strong B sound there. Ves means you see. How would you say you see it? Lo ves. Now ask, do you see it? Lo ves? Do you see it over there? Lo ves por allí? How would you ask, do you see her? La ves? If we wanted to express something like they gave, so here we are in simple past. It's not they were giving, but they gave. So here we have the arrow downwards. Consulting that chart, we would go to the angle of they, and then dar is the verb to give. So they gave, the sound would be dieron. So dieron, they gave. How would you say they gave me? Me dieron. The word for a present is un regalo. Now say, they gave me a present. Me dieron un regalo. The sound for I do or I make. Let's again return to our chart. So the angle is I, and the verb to do or to make is hacer. So we have the sound of hago. Hago means I do or I make. Always keep this H silent, hago. How would you say I do it? Lo hago. If we wanted to express it makes, again we can go to our chart because remember hacer is to do or to make. So the angle for he, she, or it is here, and the sound is hace. Hace means it makes, he makes, she makes. So hace, it makes. How would you say it makes me? Me hace. What's the word for happy? Feliz. You could also say contento or contenta, but let's stick with feliz. Now say, it makes me happy. Me hace feliz. Once again, how would you say I do it? If you need to consult the chart for the sound of I do, by all means do that. So it would be lo hago. Now let's use it all together. I do it because it makes me happy. Lo hago porque me hace feliz. Next, I'd like you to find the sound for he, she, or it sees. So the angle is here in the middle, he, she, it. The verb is ver, so the sound would be be. Be. How would you say, she sees me? Me ve. She doesn't see me. No me ve. She sees you. Te ve. She doesn't see you. No te ve. Let's look for the sound of I go. On the chart, we have the angle of I going down to the verb ir, to go. So the sound for I go is boy. Just that, not boya, because if you said boya, it would mean I'm going to. But just boy on its own means I go. How would you say I go there? Voy allí. If we wanted to express every day, meaning literally all the days, how would you do that? Todos los días. Literally all the days. And this is very commonly used for every day. Now say, I don't go there every day. No voy allí todos los días. The word for sometimes is a veces. Notice again we have a strong B sound here, a veces. And how would you say with my friends? Let's imagine that these are a mixed group. Con mis amigos. Now say, sometimes I go there with my friends. A veces voy allí con mis amigos. Let's look up the sound for they do or they make. So the angle is here for they. The verb is hacer, to do or to make. So the sound is hacen. Hacen. How would you say they make me happy? Me hacen feliz. Let's look up the angle for we see. So we have here the angle of we, down to the verb ver, and the sound is vemos. Vemos, we see. What is we see it? Lo vemos. We see them. Los vemos. Of course, this could also be las vemos if we were referring to a group of all females. What about we don't see them? No los vemos. This next example is in the simple past, so we have the arrow downwards. He, she, or it said. In the chart, we have he, she, or it here in the middle. The verb is decir, so the sound is dijo. Dijo. How would you say she said it? Lo dijo. What's the word for never? Nunca. She never said it. Nunca lo dijo. She never said it like that. Nunca lo dijo así. What about the angle for they see? So they is here, the verb is ver, and the sound is ven. Ven. They see. They see us. Nos ven. They don't see us. No nos ven. What about he, she, or it did? So here we are with the verb of to do or to make, and then he, she, or it did. It's right here. The sound is hizo. Hizo. He did it. Lo hizo. He didn't do it. No lo hizo. How would you ask, what did he do? ¿Qué hizo? Why did he do it? ¿Por qué lo hizo? What about the sound for I saw? Here again, we're in the simple past. So the angle of I, the verb to see, and the sound will be simply vi. So vi means I saw. I saw it. Lo vi. I didn't see it. No lo vi. I saw it over there. Lo vi por allí. Let's go back to the present tense and find the sound for it goes. So we're in the middle column here, he, she, it, down to the verb to go, and the sound is ba. Ba on its own will mean it goes. It could also mean it's going, so either way, it goes or it's going. How would you say it's going very well? Va muy bien. What's the word for how? ¿Cómo? How's it going? ¿Cómo va? It's going very well. Va muy bien. You saw. It's clearly in the simple past. So, on our chart here, we have the angle for you, the verb to see, so the sound will be viste. Viste. You saw it. Lo viste. Did you see it? Lo viste? Did you see it over there? Lo viste por allí? What's the word for where? ¿Dónde? Now, how would you ask? Where did you see it? ¿Dónde lo viste? Welcome to part 2. Let's continue practicing using our chart and pronouns with these irregular verbs. We want the sound of I said or I told. So this is simple past. We have the angle of I and then the verb to say or to tell, decir. So the sound is dije. Dije is I said or I told. What pronoun do we use to imply to him or to her? Le. So le is used a lot with the verb decir. How would you say, I told him? Le dije. I didn't tell him. No le dije. How do you express where it is? ¿Dónde está? We're using estar because we are referring to location, where it is. ¿Dónde está? Now say, I told him where it is. Le dije dónde está. We have a very short little word to express already. Do you remember what that is? Ya. Now, ya will tend to be placed at the very front of sentences. So, we want to express now, I already told him where it is. Ya le dije dónde está. What about I didn't tell him where it is? No le dije dónde está. Let's look for the sound of he, she, or it saw. On our chart, we have the angle here in the middle, down to the verb ver, and the sound is vio. Vio means he saw, she saw, it saw. How would you say, she saw me? Me vio. She didn't see me. No me vio. She didn't see you. No te vio. She didn't see us. No nos vio. Let's look for the sound of I gave. On our chart, we have the angle of I here, and the verb to give is dar. So again, we have a very simple sound, di. Di means I gave. How would you say, I gave her? Le di. Remember that dar is another verb that tends to take the pronoun of le. So literally, I gave to her. Le di. How would you say, I gave her the book? Le di el libro. What about, I already gave her the book? Ya le di el libro. This is a good example of why pronouns can sometimes seem very confusing in Spanish. If you look at what we have here, ya, le, di, el. doesn't seem to make any sense at all. But because we now understand the structure, we can start to put the pieces together in the correct order. So, le di, I gave her. I already gave her, ya le di. And then you simply tag on whatever it is, whatever noun. So, ya le di el libro. Let's find the sound for we do. So we're back in the present tense. The angle of we is here, and to do is hacer. So we have the sound of hacemos. Hacemos, we do or we make. How would you say we do it? Lo hacemos. Do you remember the sound for it makes? Again, if you don't, you would simply consult the chart. So we have he, she, it here, and the sound is hace, it makes. Hace. How would you say it makes us? Nos hace. Now say we do it because it makes us happy. Lo hacemos porque nos hace felices. Hopefully you remembered to put feliz into plural because it's nos, us. So nos hace felices. Let's find the sound for we saw. So again, we're in the simple past. Angle is we, and the verb is ver. So we saw is vimos. Vimos. We saw her. La vimos. We saw her yesterday. La vimos ayer. We saw them. Los vimos. This could also, of course, be las vimos. It depends. How would you say, we didn't see them last night? No los vimos anoche. Let's look for the sound of they saw. So the angle is they, the verb is again ver, so we get the sound of vieron. Vieron means they saw. They didn't see me. No me vieron. How would you say they saw me with you? Me vieron contigo. They saw me with you at the party. Me vieron contigo en la fiesta. Remember from our translation works when we were doing the Activate modules, in Spanish where they have at the party or at the house, at the supermarket, in Spanish this goes to in the party or in the supermarket. So we have en la fiesta. Let's go for the sound of you said or you told. This is simple past, straight arrow down. So the angle is you, the verb to say or to tell, decir. So we get the sound of dijiste. Dijiste. How would you say you told me? Me dijiste. You already told me. Ya me dijiste. You told her. Le dijiste. How would you ask, did you tell her? Le dijiste? What's the word for why? ¿Por qué? Now ask, why did you tell her? ¿Por qué le dijiste? What did you tell her? ¿Qué le dijiste? What's the pronoun to them? Les. Now ask, did you tell them? Les dijiste? How would you say I'm here? Estoy aquí. Now again, let's ask, did you tell them that I'm here? ¿Les dijiste que estoy aquí? Let's find the sound for he told. So he, she, it is here, decir is to tell, so the sound is dijo. Dijo. How would you say he told me? Me dijo. He already told me. Ya me dijo. To express what happened. This what, in a sense in English, is expressing the thing that happened. So we're going to get the sound of lo que pasó. So what happened, lo que pasó. Now say, he already told me what happened. Ya me dijo lo que pasó. What about this? He already told me where it is. Ya me dijo dónde está. He didn't tell me where it is. No me dijo dónde está. He didn't tell me why. No me dijo por qué. What's the word for anything or nothing? Nada. Now, to say something like, he didn't tell me anything, in Spanish they will actually use a double negative, and it's perfectly correct in Spanish, and they would say, he didn't tell me nothing. How would you do that? No me dijo nada. In fact, this is why you will often hear native Spanish speakers make this mistake in English of using double negatives, because in their own language it's perfectly correct grammatically, but of course it's not in English. So again, he didn't tell me anything. No me dijo nada. He didn't tell me nothing. What about he didn't say anything? No dijo nada. Here we don't have any it. Simply he didn't say. And remember, the verb to say or to tell is both decir. So we're sticking with the sound of dijo. So he didn't say anything, or he didn't say nothing, as they would literally say in Spanish. No dijo nada. To finish off, let's mix it back in with some modal verb structure. So the sentence we have here, he told me that they're going to arrive tomorrow. How would you say that? Me dijo que van a llegar mañana. He told me that he wants to speak with you. Me dijo que quiere hablar contigo. He told me that he likes to dance. Me dijo que le gusta bailar. He's going to call you, but he didn't tell me when. Va a llamarte, pero no me dijo cuándo. The word for the truth is la verdad. We have a strong B sound here, la verdad. How would you say, she didn't tell me the truth? No me dijo la verdad. What's the sound for I know? Sé. Now say, I know she didn't tell me the truth. Sé que no me dijo la verdad.